What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping back into some more Sanctum. This is the first Sanctum, not Sanctum 2. And apparently it's been so long since I played it that a lot of people forgot I even had played it. The one we have left to do here is the slums. Or next, not really left. There's 4 maps left, including the slums. So we're going to go through that on normal. I have done a couple of streams of this and played with some friends, and those were super fun, but they tend to take a really long time. Starting a new game will overwrite the one that we have going. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I think Tesla Rex Freeze is pretty much my go-to weapon setup. I rarely use anything else, at least in the first Sanctum. I don't know if there are flyers in this map or not. I'm gonna take the anti-air just in case. You always need the blocks and the televators unless you're going for some really shenanigan setups. I think ultimately this could do alright. Yeah, out of all the towers that we have, this is probably the best setup to at least attempt this with the first time. So if I wanted to, I could probably force them to go through here and then back over here and get some use out of turrets there. We probably want to focus on one area as a rather concrete kill box. And oops, I'm sure I'm going to have enemies attacking from some other direction at some point as well. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. So we have a setup starting over here. So these black nodes here, you can't really build anything on. Now they're deciding to come all the way over here. So then this will be a good thing to make a televator. And if we want extra towers, we can build those over here. Lightning there is in bed. I should never actually have to step down here. So a couple of slow fields should be good too. How much is a scatter? 25? Do I have it? I think so. I want to build it is the question. I think another slow actually might be best. Okay. And all of my weapons will be level 1, which will suck, but let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah. I can't even see them. Alright, looks like we're still coming from the same direction. One of the things that we probably want to do is to bump up the Tesla. And now that that's done, we could probably get a drone set up here. And we'll do a Violator. Alright, for the most part, this is working out really well. The Violator seems to be making short work of just about everything, too. And we got a bunch of those defensive turtling creatures. They bundle themselves up and take less damage. Go ahead and upgrade the freeze and the Rex once. Now there's no actual cap to the number of things you can build here. It's all just based on the resources and how well you acquire them. All right, so I think we'll just build another lightning. Over here. And then another violator back here. And then we'll call it quits. Burst damage does best against these guys, but you don't always get the opportunity to burst them down. Alright, none of them are making it to the teleporter, which is good. We've got runners coming. More slow fields. This area will be the one that actually determines how hard they get taken down. I think I'll place another lightning over here then. And I guess I'll bump one of these weapons. I don't have enough to upgrade anything else over here. I'm short just a few resources, but we should be able to start doing that next wave. The good thing about the Tesla is it's basically a handheld lightning tower, and as you level it up, the alternate fire shots chain to other enemies. Forgot how busy the sound effects in this game gets. Jeez, these guys are absolutely destroyed. One of the things that I forget to deal with this game is that special effects, ambient noise. Sound effects on this game are really, really loud. There we go. This game came out quite some time ago, and to have like sound, like audio mixing, is such a good idea on the part of most devs. A lot of people get really upset about that. Square Enix is kind of notorious for not having audio mixing in their games, including Kingdom Hearts 3, which just released, which a lot of people seem to have been a little peeved about, but it happens. Okay, so these guys are going to be flyers. We need to focus on turrets that have some range. The scatter laser is probably going to be my baby for that, and the Rex. Ooh. Okay, so this area looks like it's really only reached by bounce pad, and so we could either place a televator up here, or because we have stairs, just some really good long distance towers. But I've always found that televators have been pretty good at giving me consistent ways to deal damage and to cover different areas of the map without too much hassle. So I like to build quite a few of them, even though overall you lose a lot of tower DPS that way.
Activated. Defense grid
So we have 13 waves to go through. Where are they coming from? Down below? I'll see them. Okay. That's pretty far away. The rocket launcher was a lot harder to use. Compared to Sanctum 2. Nope. They are going in. Alright. We don't want to do that. We want to load the checkpoint. They gave us a checkpoint at this level.
Defense grid set to building mode.
Alright, so the main issue here is that... Alright, I didn't build those yet. We don't have enough range towers. Something that deals with stuff at really long ranges. Probably put too much into the weapons too early. And that happens sometimes. So, I want to make this televator still. And then we can make all 4 of these violators. Yep. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so we can try that with a few of those. Eventually, enemies are going to be passing through here too. So we'll want them to start to come up here. We should prepare for that now. I think that's the way we wanted to do it. Yeah. But before we build that block, let's make this one in the corner a televator. Get that one built. We'll use this to hop up here. And then over here we can build even more violators. Okay, a single scatter laser over here should do wonders. And then actually build 3. And that'll be it. So now we have a few more guns over here, a bunch of violators here, and a couple violators and a scatter laser here.
Defense grid set to extermination mode.
The thing about dodgers too is you have to get an eye on them really quick. Very few towers have the ability to do that. You know, I probably could use an anti-air too. It's also a little bit less expensive than the Violator and better at dealing damage to groups. But enough Violators basically has a similar effect. Kinda like that.
Turret nodes in hibernation. Defense grid set to building mode.
Okay, now we have a bunch of tiny runners. These guys should basically just be taken out by what we have now. I think we can just conserve resources just in case.
Defense sequence activated hibernation.
Plus our Tesla will wreck the majority of them just due to them being bunched up so much. Oh, that's not gonna work. Alright, they got a bit far. Alright, and these are the worst enemies to deal with in the game. Because really the only way to deal with bobbleheads is with sniper shots or shots from a weapon that can accurately fire. In this case, I gotta dump everything into the Tesla. Mortars can sometimes deal damage to them. But still not as efficient as actually just zapping them in the face yourself. And because the regular sniper rifle is pretty bad versus most weapons or most enemies, really not a good idea just to use that. Okay, soakers. So soakers require as many hits as you can possibly muster. So rather than focus on just building down here, what we need to do is get up here. You know what? There's really no way on top of these unless I decide to build a televator. So we might as well get that out of the way now. Televator will go here. Yeah, because I can't build anything behind it. Alright, let's put a violator there. And then we'll scatter here, 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 and here. Over here we'll put a lightning here as well. And then as many slow fields as we can muster wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's go ahead and buff the Rex and Freeze once so they're near max level. A lot easier for me to travel around the map if I can just point and click to where I want to go rather than having to actually look around due to the amount of verticality that exists in this map. It's just all over the place. Okay. So, switch to towers. Most of what we can build down here is done. The slow fields here are kind of what we'll need now. You want to be careful about slow fields though. Whenever you play this game, if you are in the slow fields, you are also slowed, and that's very bad. All right, here we go. You kind of just want to spam all of your weapons when you're dealing with soakers. You don't really want to take your time with anything. Because the more hits they take, and the faster they take them, the more damage overall they receive. And as they take more hits, everything does more damage. So, really it's just the way to go. And you can roughly tell how much damage they've taken based on how fast they're moving. And how high the numbers are when you are actually clicking them. Okay, that one, whoa, that was really close.
Defense grid set to building mode.
Okay, the last thing I really should probably have to build is anti-airs. These guys are really good at dodging them though. Gliders are some of the fastest anti-air enemies that you can deal with. Or air enemies that you can deal with. Aerial, I think, is the word that I was originally looking for there. Whoa. We'll dump a little bit in the Rex though, and let's go ahead and pump this nest up that I have here. All right.
Defense sequence activated. Defense grid set to Extermination mode.
Alright, doesn't look like I really need any buffs. Probably a bit easier to see them getting shot down in the overhead view. Man, these guys are sneaky. Some of them are coming from off the map. They all spawn in the same place.
Defense grid set to building mode.
They're sending the big boys at us now. These are the tankier enemies in the game, so buff the freeze. And we want to buff our hard-hitting towers. So lightning. Alright, and just in case, I'm gonna come down here and we're gonna start to build something that kind of makes sense defensively. Gonna force the enemies to walk that way. I don't know why I'm building slow fields down here when I haven't built them. Haven't built them in places where they would actually be useful. That works. Okay. Head back down here and begin. All right, where are we at? All right, I think this might look a little worse than it is. Nope, this is pretty bad. Okay. And we got these guys. These are the tanks. They have shields that you have to bust through before you can actually deal damage to them. For the most part, the only weapons that really go through them are snipers, the Tesla, and I think the shotgun. And then for towers, your only hopes, I think, are violators. Maybe something else. But if you don't get through their shields, it blocks like a specific, very specific number of damage per hit taken, like 100 times the wave number, I think. So on wave 11, it blocks out 1100 damage per shot. So a sufficiently powered lightning tower should help out here. See what we can do. Alright, see how that one has a ton of life right now? Because I didn't drop a shield when it was coming out. Missing shots is also very, very bad. And if it stops taking damage for a long enough time, it will take, well, it will get a shield back, which is really, really, really bad. As you can see, most of the towers we have here don't deal a lot of damage. Even if you max out the level, they won't really be able to break through even low level shields on tanks.
Building mode.
Okay, now we got good old balloon buddies. So your best bet against these guys is just anti-air towers. The Rex can try to do a decent job, but it won't be nearly as good as just a really good set of towers. All right, I think that's it.
Defense sequence activated. Defense grid set to extermination mode.
These guys are probably just going to be large blobs of health. So, rockets help. If they get clumped together in like really nice bumps or bunches, you can just fire rockets directly into them and watch them melt. When they get close enough, you can test them. The first Sanctum definitely had some flaws with the weapon system, mainly it being that you can't reload weapons whatsoever. You have to empty them, and so it encouraged a lot of YOLO weapon fire, where you just kind of spammed everything and hoped that the damage landed. And if it didn't, then it didn't really matter, because you were basically nerfing your ability to deal damage later if you didn't just go YOLO anyway. Sweet.
In hibernation. Defense grid set to building mode.
So now we got gliders and big walkers. Okay. With the amount of anti-air stuff that we have, I think we should be safe from gliders. What I'm worried about most, though, is these big guys. Okay, so we can do that. Then I should probably focus on at least one tower up here. Maybe two. Alright, that'll be three then. Alright. So let's go ahead and start back down here. And we'll kind of just gun them down as they come out, see what manages to survive.
Set to extermination
Is it just the one really big walker? All right, yeah, it looks like that was it. All right, we got a little dance of victory party. So that is going to be the slums. Nice. 51% tower kills, 49% player kills. That's actually a really good split. I actually did more damage than the towers. I'm gonna say that's 100% because of how good the Tesla is against grouped up runners. It's amazing against any enemies that you can get packed into little tiny tight spaces. That also means that it works extremely well with things like the slow field. But yeah, that's cool. And we didn't get tackled once. But that's going to be it for this video. We'll jump into some more Sanctum, the original, and eventually I'll start going through the Sanctum 2 maps too. You know, individually, one by one, same way I was doing with this game. And eventually we'll get them both completed. But either way, if you guys were looking at another tower defense game that had some interesting ideas, the Sanctum series will definitely be a good choice. The first game and the second game feel very different due to the way that they were iterated, very different from other tower defense series too. Not only because they work differently fundamentally, but because the mechanics that are in them are just altogether different. And they both make you think about tower defense in a different way than just you know, merely optimizing tower placement. But there's also things to think about with the gear that you bring on your player, as well as just what sort of enemies you will have to be able to deal with the limited amount of selections that you get to choose. Either way, you guys take care, and as always, until next time, have a good one, folks.